to look at the lights up on top and go for go.
Green flag waiting at the back now. It's Super 600s, and we're about to kick things off here for the first race of the day. Watch for that man with the red flag to move to the side. Check the lights out. Heads down. We are about to go racing. Dean Foss looks like he's meaning business. So is Matthew Scholz. And off they go down towards turn 1 for Eddie Chicane. It's a super start there from Scholz. He looks like he's got the drop. But check out Shelley. Anthony Shelley from the second row. Whole shots into Pirelli Chicane. What a start there from the youngster. Cam Peterson in second place, Dean Foss in third as they sort things out coming through there. Blaze Baker's up to fifth just behind Matthew Scholz. Stephen Odendahl nowhere to be seen just yet. He's normally a pocket rocket off the line, but he's behind Blaze Baker and was outgunned by the man who was alongside him and one position back as they head down to the braking markers at Vox Telecom. Hard onto the brakes. Oh, a bit of MotoGP style from Blaze Baker, styling it for the crowd as they go through Vox Telecom and keeping Stephen Odendahl on the factory Kawasaki out for now. So that is a terrible start there for the pocket rocket, and Stephen Odendahl has got some work to do as they come through into the dog bone for the very first time. Out front, it's Shelley. Oh, and he gets tapped ever so slightly by Cam Peterson, who forces his way through. Peterson takes the lead and comes into the dog bone with the Intech Yamaha ahead of that Brook refrigeration and Fencor machine. What a start to this race.
Tough day in the office, obviously, for the boys. Seeing Cam coming back into first position, it seems as if he's holding his fair share of the pie at the moment, but obviously this race is quite long, 10 laps, and it's still early days as we head out to complete round 1 as you see the boys coming up into
little M1 straight away now into the braking markers. Whoa, Dean Foss having a bit of a squirrely time heading into the braking markers. They're trying to brake as late as possible to get past on that Kawasaki. It's Yamaha, Kawasaki, then a Yamaha and 4 Kawasaki's behind him. Matthew Scholz being hassled a little bit by Blaze Baker. Baker, the man from KwaZulu-Natal. And of course, he has just also got a little bit of interesting fact there too. He has a bit of factory support. When I say factory support, from an ex-factory rider, Russell Wood, is in his camp, dude, helping him out with a bit of helping him out for some of the assistance in terms of the financial backing there for that team. So now, as they head up onto this little straight to bring them to complete lap number 1, out front, Cam Peterson getting away slightly, and of course Anthony Shelley's going with him. And Matthew Scholz has now made his way ahead of Dean Foss, so he realized that these two riders are getting away right from the word go, and he has to get the hammer down and try and stay with them.
As you mentioned, Greg, the boys need to really make sure that the leaders don't break away too far. It's early days at the moment. We only passed around, or should I say, the first lap. And if Cam is just looking back and just saying, boys, where are you at? It seems like he means business today.
And Colvin Osvik also making her way up, and unfortunately just dropped down to 1 position, but she's starting to close in now as they get to the braking markers down at Vox Telecom corner. First 4 bikes have gone through pretty smoothly. 5th place at the moment, Blaze Baker. Then we've got Stephen Odendahl on his tail looking for a way through. Still hasn't found a way past Blaze Baker just yet. Behind Blaze Baker and Odendahl comes Alan John Fenter, first of the Triumphs. That's another man we need to pick up on. Of course, factory Triumph rider here for the Triumph factory, and of course also one of our Manx and of course Macau Grand Prix and Isle of Man competitors last year, dude.
My goodness.
So if you want to tick some boxes, but there you go.
He comes with a lot of experience as well, as we see the boys in action, and hopefully he'll have a good day out here in the Triumph and see as to whether he can challenge the boys up front for honours.
He's certainly closing onto the back end of Odendahl and Blaze Baker. This battle for 1, 2, 3 and 4 closing up. It looks like Scholz's put his head down, tries to close in. The Mantella and RSA Racing Kawasaki is on the back end of the Furcor machine there of Anthony Shelley's as they come off the M1 into what is the shortened circuit, or the shorter circuit option that we've got here at Redstar Raceway. We're going anti-clockwise at the moment, and right now it's all business at the front end. The two Kawas, they're kind of working against each other here and allowing Cameron Peterson to get away ever so slightly. That's one thing they've got to take into account. You cannot fight in amongst yourselves and allow that leader to get away. I think Scholz is going to have to maybe just gesticulate there to Shelley to say, come on, let's work together and get up to Cam, and then we can start fighting things out.
No, you're certainly right, Greg. That is quite important for the boys to actually work together and make sure that the leader doesn't really run away with the race. And if they're going to continue battling amongst themselves, certainly Cam is just going to build up that gap even bigger as we see the boys go through into third lap.
Alan John Fenter starting to close in just in the background there as well, onto the back end of Odendahl and Blaze Baker as our leaders go through Pirelli Chicane. They're going to be coming onto the monster straight. The big N1 straight away that heads them down to Vox Telecom corner. Look at, Baker out of shape there, runs onto the rumble strip. Yes, indeed, that could have been costly. And right on his tail was Stephen Odendahl. Odendahl might be able to capitalise. Bit further back there, you can see a battle starting to raise there for 5th place. Nice manoeuvre there from Matthew Scholz and from Dean Foss. Scholz, he saw him coming. Foss tried to go up on the inside. Oh, the same thing happening there from Matthew Scholz as he looks up the inside there and tries to find a way past. You can see Anthony Shelley is starting to feel the pressure a bit. They are certainly losing.
Oh,
And
they go down.
Shelley and
Both of
Scholz
them.
have gone down. Shelley and Scholz have gone down. That is a massive crash. The two of them coming together as they came into the dog bone section. Shelley is up and riding, but Matthew Scholz is down. He hasn't moved just yet. I think he might be stuck under the bike there. So Anthony Shelley and Matthew Scholz coming together there, unfortunately coming into the dog bone section. And that is a big costly maneuver for those two. It's Yamaha's 1 and 2. Blaze Baker should be sitting in third place. No, he's lost ground. He might have come out of the throttle a little bit there, and maybe taking evasive action on that crash. It's now Udendal up to third. Alan John Fenter on the Triumph up to fourth. Baker being hassled by Nicholas Kershaw.
Greg, it's amazing how everything just seems to change just in an instant. I mean, there we see a rider going down. Two of them going down at the same time, but thankfully it seems as if he's trying to get up. But
looking at that, it looks like there's a bit of an injury on that left shoulder. I think he's a bit concerned about it. Might be collarbone. I know that he's had a couple of injuries in the past, and of course he was involved in the Red Bull Rookie Cup last year. So certainly a man to watch out for in terms of talent on a two-wheel machine.
No, certainly.
But those are two of the most talented riders that came together, trying to outgun each other right in front of the boss of KMSA. Oh wow!
What are the chances? What are the chances? Let's just hope his injury is not too bad, and that he might be able to come back in a second race, and that nothing is too badly hurt on that as we get back into the race of action.
Well, the battle now, Googs, is for fifth place. You can see that Kershaw's closed on to Blaze Baker. Baker trying to stay with Alan John Fenter, and they're all fighting for fifth place at the moment. So wait and see what happens here. Keep an eye out on 58 as well. Rudman's coming, so is 58. And when I say 58, that of course is Magic Mike.
Magic Mike himself.
Magic Mike White. He's the guy who crashed yesterday at turn 1, but went into turn 1 at a massive high side.
His bike, hey?
Yeah, unfortunately caught up by a slower rider in that chicane, in the Pirelli chicane at turn 1. And look at that. All fixed and now competing for top 10 honours, dude.
As if nothing happened yesterday, but at least today it seems like it will go his way. But the rider's at least a little bit wary as to the conditions at the moment, because yesterday it was very windy, but at the moment it's totally different from what it was during qualifying yesterday.
Not as bad as qualifying.
Not as bad as qualifying, and I think it's ideal conditions for some good action here on the racetrack. As we see the boys all fighting out for fifth position, the whole battle of four riders.
Check this out as they come out of the dog bone now into the little hairpin. Into that hairpin now, they go onto the midway straight, and of course that midway straightaway gives them an opportunity to absolutely pin it along the straight. Now there are 5 bikes all trying to get a bit of slipstream effect going. They're not quite close enough just yet. Alan John Fenter keeping Blaze Baker at bay for now. The battle for fifth place is between the two of them. Baker closes on Fenter. That's ZX6. Seems to be able to run a little bit extra corner speed than the Triumph is able to do. But of course Alan John Fenter will be making that Triumph very wide. Probably as wide as a freaking Triumph rocket, dude. A big motorcycle.
The big Makula
doesn't
boss.
want to let anybody through there.
Not quite. No, I think the idea is to obviously bite your time and look at and see as to whether win is you can take your opportunity to overtake. And obviously that's what he's doing in front, just taking a look at the rider in front of him and making sure that he doesn't lose too much time and he sticks as close as possible and be able to throttle out of the corner and carry as much speed as possible in order to overtake in the next bend.
Into the final corner now. That little battle now comes up to complete another lap. We're going to be starting lap number 5 for these riders. 4 laps down. Udendal still in third place. There is Alan John Fenter. Baker's on his tail with Kershaw right behind him. It's the battle of the 50s there, bud. 51, 55 and 58 in the house. And just behind them comes the 82.
Oh, there's an overtaking maneuver.
Look at that! Magic Mike! What are you thinking there, dude? That's where you crashed out. He's not
even surprised. He's like, hey, what happened? Where did you come from?
Exactly. Just smashed up the inside of Kershaw. Kershaw looked at him and went, where did you come from? But that's the kind of maneuver you got to do. There's not a lot of overtaking on the circuit. You got to try and get it done under the braking corners, and of course that's at the top of the M1 and the bottom of the N1. And of course there at the chicane, if you shove it in like that, you can make it stick. He just did.
Like I said, these guys, the Rat Pack, these boys are like stuntmen. They really don't know when to really stop. They go as far as possible, and obviously on the edge all the time, as we saw in the last few bends. Needless to say, the battle continues as we head out halfway mark into lap number 5.
It's plain sailing at the front end though, just to let you know, Googs. 3.5 seconds between Cameron Peterson and Dean Foss, his teammate. So Dean Foss probably going to just run the shotgun roll there for his team and keep Udendal at bay. Udendal though is slowly but surely being caught. Look at the lap times. We've got a 58.5 out of Alan John Fenter, a 57.8 out of Udendal. And those are the last couple of laps that we've seen. But the best laps that have come out of them so far are coming from just behind. Michael White, Magic Mike, doing a 57.9. So if he keeps up that kind of pace and starts to make his way through, he's going to bring along Blaze Baker, Alan John Fenter and Kershaw and close that gap on Udendal.
Let's just hope the riders don't actually hold themselves up, because obviously if that's the case, the boys in front will certainly spread out their wings and just keep on building up on that gap. But as we see the boys battling out towards the last end of the corners and onto lap number 5.
Yes, indeed. They're on 5 now. Going to be coming to complete lap number 5 now as they come into the final turn. You can see as they head up there through, it's wow, an absolutely amazing battle here. And Magic Mike, as I said, certainly looking the most dangerous man out there at the moment. He's got lots of ground to make up.
More like comes across the line. Mode. Let's see if he's going to pull up another maneuver again shortly.
Well, he had a look up on the inside and got past Kershaw. He's going to try it on Blaze Baker. These two very good mates.
There we go. He goes
exactly the same maneuver.
Exactly the same.
What is Mike thinking? Magic Mike is certainly magic through that corner, going past Temba Kamala. Kamala must have had a problem somewhere on the circuit. That was Temba Kamala that just passed. So he's been lapped only into lap 6. So Kamala must have run wide somewhere. You can see him sitting up in the background.
Pulling up as well.
Not running on the same kind of pace as what we saw earlier from him, and he's now dropped right out of it, which is probably going to put him down into about 15th place overall.
Which is a great pity, but let's hope that he'll be able to continue the battle later on in the race too, as we see the boys spreading out route.
Jeez, I can't believe that maneuver from Mark White. He crashed in that corner yesterday, dude.
Exactly, in a big way.
And probably in an almost identical position to what he just tried.
And he just overtook 2 boys.
And you know what he did there yesterday when he crashed? He thought to himself, okay, that's where the limit is. I got to go like 1 tweak back and I'm
just
good.
Just a little bit.
And he's gone 1 tweak back twice and made it stick.
And catching the boys in surprise, saying, what's up, I'm coming through.
Absolutely incredible stuff there from Mark White. But now as they come into the little hairpin, it's back onto that little M1 straight away. He looks back. Don't worry about looking back, dude.
Don't worry.
They're nowhere near you.
Pambili, Baba. Look, Pambili. That's all you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. Concentrate on that 39 bike ahead of you.
Look at that. Yes, is he going through? Not. Oh,
he's through.
Oh, he pushed him wide.
He forced an Isle of Man competitor wide. Alan John comes back at him. Oh, banging bars. This is brilliant stuff. Alan John and Michael White going at it hammer and tongs and not holding him back. And they're going to come again. No. Yo, this is incredible. This is what it's all about. I told you Super 600 was going to have bar banging, dude, and we've had plenty of it.
The boys are swapping elbows. Oh, we're going to write it down.
Rudman down there. Malcolm Rudman crashing out. Looks like he's probably just behind that little battle. He was sitting down in 8th place. So I think he was just pushing a little bit too hard. Probably lost the front end. You can see he's up and riding, well, he's up and standing. Not quite riding just yet, but he'll get that bike sorted out.
Dude,
unfortunately,
where's my bike?
He's out of
asking, picking up some of the pieces from his bike, but I'm sure he'll be back in action in the second race later on in the day.
No doubt about it. We'll get that bike sorted out for race 2, but Rudman's out of it. There is 2nd place. Dean Foss. 3rd place is the 4-4, Stephen Undahl. I think he'll be pretty happy considering the fact that he's got 2 victories under his belt so far at Pakisa. 3rd place right now and not able to run with the Yamahas. That's probably the best he's going to get for race number 2. Although, the way these two are going, they are certainly going to close down on Undahl. Looking at the lap times, let's have a quick squiz. Alan John Fenter's last lap was a 59.4. Undahl still in the 58. So, okay, yeah, he's still got about a second ahead in terms of lap times. But now that they are no longer fighting, Mark White might be able to catch him.
Possibly. I mean, he's got a bit of clear air and less drama in front of him, so he should be able to make up that time gap as well as perhaps bring the others along with him. We'll just have to see as we head out onto the main last straight. The boys battling for honors and bringing in some action, showcasing their skills. That's why they call the Rat Pack, because they really bring in some stunts. That's why for me, I'd say the 600s, the boys have got nothing to lose really. They just go out there. Just really go on the edge.
Yeah, that Brat Pack certainly is the way to go. Now they come side by side. Kershaw versus Blaze Baker. Kershaw's got the inside line, should have him on the brakes and does very nicely. Gets a little bit out of shape coming in there. Baker has to roll out of it ever so slightly. There you can see Rudman on the outside. I'm not quite sure if that was still under yellow there. I didn't see yellow flags waving, so I think Kershaw would probably know if there were yellow flags there. They were probably on the previous lap, but they've now taken them away, which he's now capitalized and made a move on Blaze Baker. Alan John Fenton now losing ground to Michael White. There you can see the gap between the two of them, and slowly but surely Michael White, looking at the lap times he's able to do. Fastest lap he's been able to do is a 57.9, and we're looking at a 57.6 from Stephen Undahl. So he's got to try and find another 3/10 if he wants to close in on Stephen Undahl for 3rd place and possibly get onto that podium.
Yeah, well, thankfully he still has a number of laps to go. It looks like we're going into the third last lap as the boys ticking away, pushing along and trying to see as to whether he can get as high as possible and maybe onto the podium. Michael White.
Certainly looking good at the moment. Now things have just eased up ever so slightly in that little battle. Calmed down, but of course there's still, as you said, 3 laps to go. As they go down there, keep an eye out on Blaze Baker, closing in on Kershaw, using the slipstream. Is he close enough? No, not quite close enough, but of course, yeah, they come onto the braking mark.
He does.
He's good on the brakes. Wow, had a big look on the inside of Kershaw. Kershaw saw him coming, slammed the door, took the very inside line and said, no, you're not coming through now. We'll see you a bit later on, okay?
probably giving him a chance, but I'm sure he's lining him up for the next few laps and see as to whether he might be able to just sneak up on the inside and say cheers and take a position ahead of him.
Nicholas Kershaw, one of the guys who's just over the age of 20. He turned 21 last year at the East London round of the National Championships last year. So he's fighting it out with 18 and 16 and 17-year-olds. As I said, these guys do not hold anything back.
It's probably the grandpapa out of the whole group.
It certainly is. Alan John Fenter also in his 20s, so not to take anything away from him on the Triumph. But he's now got some more pressure coming from two more Kawasaki's. He's allowed Michael White to get through, and by getting through, Michael White is certainly closing in on the back end of what is Stephen Odendaal. Odendahl's last lap, of course, looking at a 58.2, Michael White a 57.3. 9/10ths quicker. Dude, that's some serious maneuvering, and Michael White is certainly looking to get up onto that podium.
Now, he is really hungry for a good position today, and certainly showcasing it as we see the boys heading out towards the end of the lap, still in tow and pushing and eyeing each other and saying, hey, dude, I want to make my way through, so please give me a gap.
6.75 triple at the moment, keeping out the two 4-cylinders. And I don't know how much longer Alan John's going to be able to keep out Kershaw. Kershaw certainly looks like he is on it, and probably quicker of the two.
Good
Michael White trying to close
straight.
in on Odendaal. You can see the 58 bike
Let's
just in our
see.
shot. Yeah, they're coming onto the braking markers for Pirelli chicane. And not able to make it stick just yet, but he's certainly in reach. Look at Blaze Baker though. How's he carry the corner speed to that,
just
man?
carried right through up to
That's
the
where he
back
makes up his
end.
ground. And
Exactly.
right behind him comes Nicole van Oswegen. Dude, Nicole is up to 8th place. What a ride from Our Lady on the Teasers Triumph. That's top
Representing
quality
the
stuff.
Sisters.
Certainly doing a great job.
And keeping them honest as well, Greg.
Doing a great job there for women in motorsport in general. Her and, of course, Janine Davies. Of course,
Davis.
Got to try and get into that one. It's been a year, yes, I know, and Dan's probably going to have my head for that. But, of course, it's been a long time we've been calling her Janine Mitchell. So hang in there. I'll get it right eventually.
You forgive
But Janine Davies certainly having a great run. Unfortunately, crashing out on lap number 2. But they are fixing her bike. And Ricky came and gave us some information that she should be good to go for race 2 of Super M. Right now, though, the second lady of Superbike Racing, our 600 extraordinaire, Nicole van Oswegen, closing in on Blaze Baker, and it's going to make it a 4-way battle here for what is going to be 5th place on the track.
We've got about 2 laps to go as the boys and girl, or should I say the boys and girl,
Yes, indeed.
queen rather, leading up and playing around in the circuit here at Redstar, as we see the boys battling out for honors and pushing their machines to the limit. Just see us to
Kershaw
look
is
at that.
all over, looking for a way around on the Triumph of Alan John Fenter. Fenter, as I said, trying to make that thing as big as a rocket. The Triumph rocket, of course, the big cruiser that Triumph brings in. And there's Kershaw on the inside, cuts it back very late. Not quite close enough to make it stick, but if he keeps at that kind of pace, he might find a way through on Alan John Fenter. Fenter just doesn't seem to be able to carry the same corner speed as the Kawasaki's are able to do. But right now, it doesn't matter. He's still keeping them behind them. So it's up to Kershaw and to Baker to make that maneuver stick.
Now certainly I think, ooh, a bit of a speed wobble over there.
Baker out of
But
shape.
managed to just keep
That's
it
how
together.
hard Blazer's trying.
But I think he might surprise these two riders in front of him and actually just catch them while they're still battling amongst themselves,
Right,
because he
so-
carries a lot of speed through the Pirelli section.
No doubt about it. Into Pirelli chicane now for the final time. We're on to the last lap here, Googs. So Cameron Peterson and Dean Foss clearly ahead by 6 seconds, and then, of course, by another 4. There is the leader. That's the gap. Look at that. That's the gap. That's the
Huge
leader.
gap.
That's Anthony Shelley. Shelley's back up and riding. And looking at where he's sitting right now, he's still in 16th place. So he could make up some ground and still score some points here. Here comes a maneuver from Kershaw. So what we expected on the brakes, not able to get up the inside of Alan John Fenter. And just behind them, of course, nice little battle starting to rage. It's Michael White looking to close on this last lap. I don't think he's got enough time, though. And yes, you picked up on it. Baker has lost out to Nicole van Oswegen.
In a big way, because Nicole managed to actually overtake him through the Pirelli curves down there, but getting back in the thick of actions, Greg. I think it's a bit too late at the moment to try and see if we can make up another position.
Yeah, I think the only one we're going to watch out for right now is Kershaw on Alan John Fenter. Alan John Fenter is probably the man who's under the most pressure right now on this last lap and trying to keep Nicholas Kershaw behind him. Nicholas Kershaw on the Tsunami Kawasaki, certainly looking good, but it's going to be a hard ask to try and find a way through. So Cameron Peterson, he's done it all right. He got qualifying in the bag yesterday, qualified on pole, put his teammate 2 bikes behind him. And of course, when Matthew Skolt and Anthony Shelley came together earlier on in this race, it was a big unfortunate maneuver there for the Yamaha team, and actually a big relief for them.
Correct.
They got those 2 Kawasaki's off their back and they could concentrate on just getting this race done and dusted. And this is exactly what Cam needed to do. After not a great outing at Pekisa Freeway, he's come through to the Redstar Raceway and has now sorted his championship out and can probably get back into contention for keeping that number 1 plate on the Yamaha.
Certainly, and heading on to the last bend as he comes through to take the checkered flag.
Yes, indeed.
Cam Peterson,
Checkered
as
flag.
you can see, he says, I did it. Yeah, I did it.
Got this done.
Got it done. But I must say, Greg, he is in a different field. He seems to be mentally, when I look at him and when I talk to him, you can see that he's a man who's really hungry for victory.
He's focused, that's
and
for sure.
he's so focused for the season, and I think
1-2.
definitely, yes.
1-2 for the Entech and
well
Brother
done,
Racing Yamahas. The R6 is coming through for 1 and 2. Stephen Odendahl will take 3rd place. He was pretty much gifted that one. Michael White, though, I think the most dangerous man out there all race long, finishes up in 4th place and certainly looked like he was going to be a danger factor for race number 2 if he's able to get up there quicker. So he wins out. Michael White just confirming that with Cam. And check out the wheelies. Big one from Kershaw. Down the N1 straight away. Stand up wheelie, Nokal. Oh, we love your work, Nick Kershaw. Keep that kind of stuff up. Oh, but nearly gets a little squirrel as he puts it down.
The takeoff was brilliant, but the landing is a little
you know what happened there? I think the wheel stopped rolling. That front wheel's got to keep rolling, but if you put it down with a stationary wheel, that's what's going to happen. Alan John Fenter, though, he comes through for 5th place behind Michael White with Nicholas Kershaw, our big wheelie man there in 6th place. Nicole van Aswegen, top lady rider in 7th after starting in 10th, making up 3 positions. Blaze Baker finishes up just behind her with Jason Vessels coming through for 9th and Reino Stunder, the 2nd of the portable shade Kawasaki's there in 10th place. So I'm going to head off to the podium and I'll let you take us through this until we get to the podium, Gooks. Great race for our first Super 600 here at Redstar Raceway.
And we've got the green flag and Greg.
ER24 machine behind. Red lights about to go on. As soon as they go off, we go racing. Watch the lights. Top right of your screen, lights go on and off, and we go racing. There's the lights on and off. Good start there. Everybody gets off the line nicely. Dean Foss with a very, very good start. Shelley sneaking through again. Whole shot city time. Yes, this time he beats out Cam Peterson into turn number 1, the Pirelli chicane, and Anthony Shelley has got the whole shot. It's Yamaha's behind him. Then we got a 3rd Yamaha coming into Malcolm Rudman, throwing it in amongst the Kawasaki's there. But first of the Kawasaki's is Scholz on the back end of Dean Foss as they head down the monster straight. Look at Stephen Odendahl looking for a way through early on. Pulls out of the slipstream on Matthew Scholz. Has he made it stick going into the Vox Telecom corner? No, he hasn't. Scholz was better on the brakes. And look at Blaze Baker. Baker around the outside. Oh, rider off. Rider down, going off there. Oh, my goodness, that's Alan John by the looks of things. I think that might be Alan John Fenter who's gone down there on the Triumph. Yes, indeed. AJV is down and out, and unfortunately Triumph South Africa's top runner in race number 1 crashing out at Vox Telecom corner at the bottom of the monster straight, and AJV is out of it. But at the front end, it's heating up. It's 2 Yamahas. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Kawasaki's. Can you believe that action? Right from the word go, and a train going out of the dog bone towards the hairpin.
It's fantastic to see that. He had a great start out there and obviously leading the rest of the pack. The boys are the rat pack of the SuperGP Championship, and certainly showcasing why that is the case, because these boys, they pretty much behave like stuntmen, I personally believe, because they have no stop button, nor do they have any fear whatsoever. No fear,
100%. Absolutely none whatsoever as they come out of that midway straight, and of course now into the short circuit. Heading out to finish up the lap, heading into the 3rd last corner now. Still Shelley leads out. Behind him are the 2 Yamahas, and Cam Peterson is looking dangerous, looking for a way through early on. Dean Foss doing a perfect job of the tail gunner roll and keeping the rest of the Kawasaki's at bay. Scholz doesn't have an answer, neither does Odendahl right now, but we're coming to the end of lap number 1. Let's have a look and see what lap times are like, because remember, this is from a standing start. We should be seeing these guys get down into the 56s and high 55s. And Anthony Shelley certainly not holding anything back now that he's had a crash in race 1. He's got lots of ground to make up on the Fur-Call Kawasaki. And with Cam Peterson breathing down his neck and having a big look at how Dean Foss hit that braking bumper. Got a little bit out of shape. Oh, Shelley's out of shape. Shelley's out of shape. And Cam Peterson around the outside. Peterson hits the front. Cameron Peterson hits the front and unfortunately Anthony Shelley had no answer there. He just ran into Pirelli chicane. Too hot.
No, certainly, Greg, as you saw, there was a bit of that speed wobble that you spoke about earlier on, unsettled him, and obviously Cam took advantage of that maneuver and taking him on the inside. Fantastic maneuver.
Is that enough for Cameron Peterson to try and get away now? Look at that, he's pulled 3-4 bike lengths as Shelley and Dean Foss had to take evasive action after he ran wide. Cam Peterson wasn't holding anything back. He just decided, I'm going. I've got this. And that's what Dean Foss should have done there. Coming out of the second part of the dog bone, Dean Foss should have capitalized on that mistake, but unfortunately it just wasn't close enough. And Shelley lives to breathe another day there and maintains 2nd place, only just for now, because Scholz is coming as well.
Well, certainly, Greg, as you said, in this game, you need to be very sharp and you need to be at the right position at the right time to take advantage of that opportunity. Needless to say, it's still early days. It's only 1 lap down and we still have 9 to go. So it'll be interesting to see as to whether the boys will they let the little Cam go all the way through.
Dude, I
As
think
you
they've
can
got
see
a choice.
the gap. Look, that's done.
They don't
already.
have a choice. Cam Peterson has just dropped the hammer and disappeared at the front end. Once he got a sniff of what is possibly first place, he's not going to let that get away at all. So it's up to Shelley now to try and stop fighting with Dean Foss and Scholz, work together and close that gap down. Oudendal is right with him as well, sitting in 5th place and is now on the exhaust pipe of Matthew Scholz, the other factory Kawasaki rider, of course, the Mantella Kawasaki and the Portable Shade Kawasaki behind the Brother MTech Racing Yamaha R6. And of course, first Kawasaki on the road is currently ridden by Anthony Shelley, the fur core Kawasaki. An amazing ride here from the young man.
No, certainly he's very determined, and obviously after the first race that didn't go according to plan, he's obviously tried to make things, shake up the proceedings over here in the race 2. But fortunately, having a bit of a speed wobble earlier on, and obviously Cam took advantage of that as we see them going through the Pirelli section.
This time, though, you can see both of them missed that bump. So there was no unsettling of the motorcycles there at all. And also, just speaking to them, we saw that Ricky got down to Anthony Shelley's pit and had a chat with him in between the races, got his point of view. We didn't actually get to Matthew Scholz, but I caught him just after the interviews with the Super GPs, and he was saying, you know what, it's a racing incident. Anthony's going to say he's right. I'm going to say I'm right. Let's just leave it as a racing incident. Let's get on to race 2. That's what I like to hear. Hey?
That's the way it should be, Greg. We shouldn't really.
Oh, second place change up. Sorry to jump in, Gooks. There we go. Yamaha R6 is 1 and 2 now. Dean Foss just sliding on through and getting past the fur core Kawasaki.
It seems as if Shelley might be having some more issues, more than we thought actually, as he seems to be dropping back slightly. But we just have to see. It's still a long way to go. It's only 2 laps down, and we still have 8 to go. So hang on to your seats.
Certainly looking like it's going to end up with a massive battle here between the second Yamaha, the 3 Kawasaki's, and potentially just in the background there, Kershaw and Baker, maybe even Michael White. We saw the late race pace coming out of Magic Mike. Let's see if he's able to find it here for race number 2 as they head down that mid straightaway and into the short circuit. This is what it's all about, as you can see at the front end, the Yamaha of Cameron Peterson in a class of its own here today. Rider running wide there. Yes, indeed. In the background, one of the riders ran wide. I think that might have been Kershaw. Just want to pick up on the riders just behind there, but definitely a rider ran wide in the background at the back.
Was he taking a shortcut,
of the midway straight? Yeah, maybe he's heading.
There we go.
It's Baker.
He's still on.
Baker on the grass on the Supermoto track. Blaze Baker blazing up the grass as well as the tarmac.
Does he know it's Superbikes? It's not Supercross. Needless to say.
Dude, where did he go, man? You know what happened there, Gooks? There's big wind outside, dude, and it's heading behind you from that midway straight away. And of course, as soon as you get on the braking markers, you're thinking it's the main straight, the monster straight, and you hit the brakes, and there's about 670, about 30k an hour wind behind you. It's going to push you.
It's going to push you. It's going to push you. You're not going to make the turn. So as we saw, you had a bit of a speed wobble.
Oh, Cam Peterson's run wide too. Peterson has run wide, and there's a problem on his bike. The leader has got a problem, a massive one. It looks like he might have put it down because the left-hand side of the bike is your gear shifter bike. Oh, disappointment properly here for Cam Peterson. The gear shifter has broken. He doesn't have all the gears, and that is massive for Cam Peterson. Look at that.
You can see the disappointment in his face. He's certainly down about. He's gutted. Probably made a mistake. And
there is another rider down. Ricky Weir is the other rider that's gone down there, and of course that's just outside of the pit lane area. So certainly massive changes happening up here in race 2 of the Brat Pack. Can you believe the action that we've seen so far? Wow, here comes Blaze Baker coming back again. After running wide, he manages to find his way through on Temba Kamala. Kamala
coming back.
Keeps him on the inside. Kamala's not letting him through. This is awesome stuff right through the field. We've got ding-dong battles. But at the front end, that means we're going to be seeing Dean Foss leading things out. It's Shelley who's second and Scholz that's third. All of a sudden, the second place battle has now become the battle for the lead, Gooks. And I tell you, it is incredible how we're seeing this action taking place here. And it's just non-stop. It's what it's all about in the 600s. The Brat Pack in the house here at Redstar Raceway. And now Shelley has a sniff of potentially what is going to be a victory.
He certainly knows that, hey, this is a chance, you know. I mean, after all, Cameron made a big mistake probably, and there he is. He's paying dearly for it. And I mean, he was Mr. Calm, Mr. Cool, and this time around, unfortunately,
dude, he had it in the bag.
He had it.
There's no doubt about it. There was like a 4 or 5 second gap, and all of a sudden there was a problem. So now it's opened things up. This is what it's. Oh, and Rodman's gone off as well. What is going on here? Wow, this is just turning out into carnage. It's bike wars out there, and unfortunately there's a couple of very, very worried and concerned teams because their motorcycles are not staying on the black stuff here at Redstar Raceway.
The race has really turned on its head, certainly. I mean, the last 2 laps have just shown some action. And And we only what? There's a few more laps to go. There's only 6, I think.
Yeah, we've got 6, well, 5.5 as they get into the dog bone. 5.5 laps to go, and already we've lost the leader. We had a comfortable margin. Here comes Shelley on the brakes. Shelley hits the front. Anthony Shelley's at the front end of this race. We have a new leader again. So it's the it's the fourth leader we've had. Fourth lead change we've had so far. Scholtzy's thinking to himself, hang on. Why did Anthony Shelley find a way past that Yamaha? I've got to do the same. And so does Stephen Undal. So the lone Yamaha in amongst the green machines there, and one of them was yellow, but it is green at heart. That is all about Kawasaki versus Yamaha. And Dean Foss, he's all on his own now. He's got to fight this out. There are 2 factory Kawasaki's behind him. There is a Furcore Kawasaki leading things out, and there's Cam coming into pit lane. Wow, what disappointment here for Cam Peterson. Maybe we can get Ricky down there, and Ricky Brest will probably make her way down to the MTech Yamaha racing team.
Greg, it looks like he's
going to try and stay out and circulate. Well, there are 19 riders, and of course we've lost 1, 2, and he is in 17th place. So yes, if somebody else goes wrong, we're going to lose 2 more riders. He can still score points.
You never know. So I think he's just going to try and consolidate and just be out there. But certainly a big disappointment from Cameron Peterson, and certainly didn't have a good second race, as we see the lead has changed. And of course we've got Dean Foss leading proceedings at the moment.
No, he's down in 3rd place now. That's how quickly they change up, dude.
Oh, goodness me.
That's how quickly they change up. Yes, unfortunately, it looks like our timing monitor is not picking up on the actual action that's happening out there. So Dean Foss is not leading. It's definitely Anthony Shelley with Matthew Scholtz in 2nd place. Dean Foss is now 3rd. So I'm not quite sure what happened with pro timing there, but our timing monitor is certainly not picking up what is actually happening on track. There goes Shelley. Let's see if it changes up now. Yes, Shelley leads out from Matthew Scholtz. Dean Foss now under 3rd place, so it's sorted out with Stephen Odendahl into 4th place, closing in onto the back end of Stephen Odendahl. Michael White is coming too, as is Kershaw. We might have another 2 Kawasaki's joining this battle. Look in the background how far back they are. A little bit too far for my liking right now. It's about a 6-second gap to the latter part of Stephen Odendahl's Kawasaki there. But let's see if they're able to close that gap over the next 5 laps. Halfway mark, Gergs, and we have seen some awesome action so far.
No, it's great to see Shelley just making up for race 1 earlier on, which didn't go according to plan, and this time around it seems as if everything has fallen into his lap and he's taking full advantage of it.
I'll say he's taking full advantage right now, but now that Scholz has got through, there's a good possibility that he might be closed down. And there's
Temba, another issue.
Temba Kamala running wide. That looks like it's probably out of Pirelli chicane. Coming onto the monster main straightaway. Yeah, you can see the main highway, the N12 in the background there, but getting back onto the M1 is going to be a little bit of an ask there for Temba Kamala on the Monroe Adrenaline Tire Sport Honda, and our lone Honda rider has gone missing. Look at Cam, just slowly but surely circulating, and there he says, that was Dean going fast, saying, come on, keep it on the gas, but we need a Yamaha at the top end there. So Dean Foss, the lone rider, and probably the only one in contention for some good points from the Yamaha team.
Temba finally makes it back.
Really, I'd be concerned about that, but remember he is he's probably a very, very talented youngster. He's got a bit of a professional head on him since he's taken his first title, so don't worry too much about the fact that we're seeing Cam Peterson out of this one. He will certainly be back by the time we get to the Mother City in 3 weeks' time.
Certainly, Greg, as I said, it's just going to have to consolidate when we get down to the Mother City and make up for the mistake that he did. Ooh,
Scholtzy out the saddle. Scholtz out the saddle properly there. That's going to be a little bit of a concern. Dean Foss is thinking to himself, aha, there's a chink in the armor. Let's go and capitalize on that one, please.
Let's pressurize and put him under.
Oh, look, he looks back. He knows he's worried. Yeah, I can tell you Matthew Scholtz is concerned. There is some serious fear in his mind right now as he had a little moment coming out of the second last turn, heading up that short straight that takes him to the last one. Look at how that bike's tucking in. I'm a bit concerned about the front end of that motorcycle. It could be a factor at the end of this race. Anthony Shelley doing it all right.
Just now doing it all perfectly right. Pinned it.
Dirk's first four split by less than 2 seconds. So we still got a chance for not only Matthew Scholtz but also Dean Foss and Stephen Odendahl to close things down here as we get into 4 laps to go.
Big action on the racetrack. Race leader, initial race leader rather, has took a tumble and now he's just circulating, and of course Shelley is leading proceedings currently, but he's been put under pressure, so it's not going to go all his way unless
there's Cam Peterson into pit lane, and hopefully Ricky Brest will get down there. There she is, going to find out exactly what happened there. Unfortunately, problems there for Cameron Peterson. Let's go and find out from Ricky and see exactly what's happened. We'll go back to there as soon as we got it ready, but at the front end, just keeping up on the action there. And it looks like it's Matthew Scholtz closing in on Anthony Shelley and certainly putting the pressure on him to find a way to get to the lead. But look at how he pulls away on the little straights. There's Ricky, let's find out.
Yeah, to be honest, I think the wind kind of got underneath my bike there a little bit. bit stupid on my part. I had a bit of a gap, should have calmed down a little bit, but yeah, just unlucky and try regroup for the next race.
Okay, so you're not going to go back on. How are you feeling, because it's the last race of the day?
Yeah, the bike's a bit damaged, so I can't continue, but yeah, a bit disappointed. Wanted the overall, but you know, this kind of stuff happens.
Okay, well, at least you won one of the day, and we'll see you in Cape Town for the next one, so good luck.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Yeah, a big pity there for Cam Peterson, as you heard. We spoke about the wind picking up their Gooks, and in fact, as they pitch it into this particular corner that we're in right now, that's the last one. That's where he's lost it. So there must have been a freak gust like we had yesterday that's literally just lifted the bike up from underneath him. Wow.
Completely stripped him under.
So that's the end of Cam Peterson's challenge here at the Mpumalanga Super GP, but he'll be back, as you heard from him, and Ricky Brest down in pit lane. Super GP heads down to the mother city in 3 weeks' time, and look out for action from Cam Peterson and the Yamaha team again, looking to fight with these two at the front. Matthew Scholz, 180 k's an hour, takes one hand off and puts his head under his shoulder to see who's behind him. Is the man nuts? I have to say yes.
That's why I say these Red Pack boys are really definitely stuntmen in my books, because they have no fear and they certainly just do things, you know, they just do. Doesn't matter, it's just to say, hey, Gooks, where's the envelopes? I'm like, dude.
There's something wrong with this kid, man.
Definitely.
180 k's an hour, take your hand off and look behind you.
Full commitment.
Okay, that's not a bad option. Right, Dean Foss is saying, yeah, I'm right here, Matthew. Make a mistake and I'm going to take you out.
He's putting on the pressure now.
And the pressure's
counting down the laps as well.
Sure thing coming from that Yamaha. It actually looks at having a look at lap times, 56.8 out of the two guys in second and third, and a 56.9 out of Anthony Shelley. So very evenly matched. Wouldn't say there's any advantage to any of these riders just yet. And let's see who's got that special hand that was dealt to them at the beginning of this race. There's Scholzi. He just outbreaks Dean Foss. Dean definitely had a big look there, Gooks, for sure.
Yeah, no, he had.
Had a look on the inside at the top of that straight, but also look, remember, we've seen 2 or 3 riders run wide there. These guys are going to have to be well aware of the fact that the wind has picked up, and it is certainly affecting the ability of the handling on these Kawasaki's and Yamahas.
Certainly, weather is a big factor in this race, as we've seen. Cameron Pearson was a victim of a little bit of a gust of wind, and let's hope these next 3 riders obviously are not affected too much by it, but rather by competition between themselves and as to whether they can actually stay on the bikes.
So now they head down into completing another lap. It's going to be 8 down, 2 to go. And I tell you something, this is I don't want to put any money on this dude. Seriously.
Come on, put your money.
My money ain't going anywhere near where my mouth is. I can tell you that right now.
Not today.
Anthony Shelley looking for another victory. Matthew Scholz looking for another victory. Remember, Matthew Scholz having a win at Pakisa Freeway, so he certainly knows what the top of the podium feels like this weekend. Dean Foss would love a victory.
No, certainly he needs one. He really, really wants to be on the podium on the top step this time around, not just taking the scraps. And of course, it's something that you're pushing and you're trying to get going on it.
Bundal on the 44 in 4th place. Then we're waiting for 5th place. In the background, look out for Michael White. Magic Mike has come through again. What an awesome ride from this youngster. Man alive, we can just find a little bit of extra budget. I'm telling you right now, he'll be in contention for this championship, as will Kershaw. So back to the leaders. Look at how this pressure is being applied here. Left, right, centre, looking for an opportunity to sneak through. Wow, Matthew Scholz.
Tight.
You know what, you got a problem here. If you're in 2nd place, Googs, in a tight battle like this, it's so difficult to maintain concentration because you're not only attacking, you're on defense.
Exactly.
You know, and look at those wheels starting to feel the pressure. The tires are starting to feel it as well. Those Pirellis are crying out no more, and they are certainly being pushed to their limit. And that's exactly what they are expecting. The R&D department from Pirelli here, Wayne Doran and his team, have done an amazing job to make sure that all the bikes are shod correctly. And now it's just up to the riders to make sure that the black stuff works well.
They need to make it work. They have no choice. Otherwise, they don't get the results they want. Needless to say, Shelley is certainly holding things up. And look at them coming up. Just accelerating out. Just the acceleration of these bikes is actually quite phenomenal. I mean, the 600s, as much as they're not as heavy as the 1000s, but just the acceleration and the fact that the riders are able to just lift it up quick.
Another idea is they're going to carry so much corner speed, and that's why they're so close to the lap times that the 1000s are able to do around this track. The 1000 has the advantage, as we saw in the Super M race, down that M straightaway, the monster Super GP straightaway. Oh, and another little squirrel there for Scholzi. Phew, it's getting very, very tense. We're on to the final lap. 9 down, 1 to go, and it's Anthony Shelley leading things out from Matthew Scholz. Dean Foss sitting comfortably, and as we saw earlier on in the Super GP race, probably in Brent Herron's seat right now, the best one in the house, waiting for something to go wrong. Praying for something to go wrong, but it doesn't look like it's going to be going wrong in the hands of Anthony Shelley. Both of these guys are the riders that went down in race 1, but and they're looking to come back for race victory and a second place on the day. What a way to go. What a recovery.
It's certainly a good recovery, Greg, considering that obviously race 1 did not go according to plan. But this time round, it's totally different. Cameron was down this early on in the race, and now the two of them are obviously fighting for first place.
Yeah, for the victory. So looking at the way things have changed up here, the wheel has turned, as we always say. Dean Foss, if he stays where he is right now, Gooks, to be honest with you, is looking at what would be an overall victory for the day. We don't have an overall victory anymore.
Well, he made a mistake.
He made a little mistake there, but third place will still be able to give him an overall victory if we were going to have one of those. And remember, we're also looking at a good possibility of who the top... In fact, a bit of smoke out of that bike. That Yamaha smoking, Gooks. Picked up on it as well there, but there's a problem on Dean Foss's bike. There was a bit of smoke coming out of the back of the bike there, under braking and under the gear change. Hopefully it'll survive for this last lap and not let Odendaal or White catch him.
No, he's counting a couple of corners now, Greg, so I hope he's able to bring that bike home.
5 to go. 5 corners to go, and Matthew Scholz doesn't look like he's found a way to get past Anthony Shelley. Anthony Shelley's going to make that ZX6 as wide as a ZX14.
Super wide.
He's not going to make any problems here or any opportunities for Matthew Scholz to pounce, but Matthew Scholz maybe has some other ideas. He goes on a slightly different line coming out of the second last turn. They're going to go up that short little straight that takes him to the final bend, and as they head up towards that, it looks like Anthony Shelley's got it. Final corner, he pitches it in. The Furcore Kawasaki's going to hang on after crashing out, getting back up on the bike and finishing the race down in what is 16th place in race number 1. He comes through for race victory. Win goes to Anthony Shelley, second place to Matthew Scholz, and third place to Dean Foss. Only just there ahead of Stephen Odendaal on the Portal Shade Kawasaki. Fifth place are going to go to Michael White. And checkered flag is out. It's time to celebrate. We are going to see some big wheelies here. Expect lots of action. There are 3 Kawasaki's and a Yamaha in the first 4, and that's what it's all about. Nice to see that. Great sportsmanship. Those are the 2 riders that came down together. They've come through for the second race, and they're now going to put on the showboats.
There we go. There
it comes. Big wheelie down the back straight away for Shelley. That's what it's all about. And Scholzi follows suit. Love the fact that these boys can do it. I wish I could do that myself. Anyway, coming down into Vox Telecom, it's Anthony Shelley that wins out the second race of the day for Super 600s. Second place going to Matthew Scholz on the Mantella RSA Racing Kawasaki. Third place to Dean Foss, and that'll give him probably what would be the overall victory on the day. And the Yamaha and Brother Racing team from MTech will be very happy with that performance. Stephen Odendaal comes through for fourth place ahead of Michael White.